So in today's video, we're talking all about the driver. We're going to be covering the importance of strike and showing the effects of when you start to miss the centre.
Hello and welcome to Pitch TV. I'm Adam Wells. I'm joined by Gary Monroe and special guest Chris Ryan. Today we're going to talk to you about the importance of strike location with the driver. But before we do that, please head over to YouTube and subscribe to Chris Ryan Golf. He's also on all social media platforms with the same name. So let's begin.
So Chris is going to show us today really the importance of the strike location, and we're going to be using our Foresight GC Hawk system. It's going to show you where he is striking the ball in the club face. So Chris, commonly when you're teaching, what is the kind of strike locations you're seeing?
Well, I think that the two things that I would notice from my coaching is, number one, golfers generally aren't aware of where they're actually hitting the golf ball. They can often tell that it's not quite where they want it, but ask them to say where it is and they're a bit lost. So they often don't know where they're striking it. When we can measure, and you obviously can with your technology here, very often I see kind of towards the heel side of the golf club, and often a little bit towards the bottom as well, and that's pretty common. Yeah,
you see you lose a lot of distance there, and it can also produce that left to right ball flight. So show us what a low or a heel strike will actually look like so the viewers can see what the ball flight and the numbers are.
Well, this shouldn't be too difficult because this is my tendency. If I'm going to miss the middle, I tend to veer towards the heel. So this one is hopefully going to be something that I can replicate relatively easily. And that definitely starts on the heel.
So let's take a dive into the numbers, and you can see from the HMT that his strike location is 17 millimetres out the heel.
Before we look at any numbers, that felt pretty terrible. I mean, it felt like the club twisted, it really didn't feel great at impact, and that's often what golfers do communicate. It didn't feel great, but they often don't have the understanding of the numbers that we've got here. So, we can see their spin rate over 3,000, which for me, with the driver, is a lot more than what I would expect. As you said, the strike was towards the heel, and the carry distance of 264 there, which hopefully I'll be able to generate a little bit more than that if I can get one at the centre. And then probably what's more costly on the course is the vicious curve that's out to the right.
Yeah. Okay, so the viewers have seen how to catch it out the heel. They really want to see how can they get that good centred strike. What are your best drills to show them?
Well, that's what everyone's after, and I would generally come at this from two angles. One is looking at the technique, what do they do in their setup and swing, which might cause that heel strike. But the other area that I think is sometimes overlooked is just developing a skill. Yeah. We know that the best players in the world will all hit it at the centre, but I'd almost guarantee that if you ask them to hit one at the toe, at the heel, high and low, they could do that just at will. And they probably couldn't tell you what they'd done in their golf swing to do that. They're just very, very good and very aware of where the club head is down at impact. So the first thing I'd do in terms of a skill acquisition drill would be just get a golfer to visualise there's 4 different quadrants of this golf club. We've got low heel, high toe, low toe. And actually just in practice, just have a little bit of fun and just start to try and hit a golf shot which comes from, let's say, high at the toe or low at the toe. And you've got obviously fantastic technology here, but they can use kind of foot spray or powder to spray the face, which gives them that feedback. And if they can start to just get kind of dialed in and actually controlling where they hit it, they can hopefully then hone in on that centre point.
That's a great thing there. The skill element of golf sometimes isn't trained enough. You see it in juniors coming through, they're training their skill and they can learn where that strike location is. Great for when you're on the course too and you're mis-striking it. If you get that sense of where it is, then you can fix it while you're playing on the course much easier. So what other drills have you got that you can set down for the technical side? Yeah,
so the other idea would be what I call a constraints drill. I'll use this stupid example, but imagine I'm hitting it at the heel, and that's my strike pattern. If you put my mobile phone out there, I'm probably going to avoid it and hit somewhere else. It's amazing how we can sort of change someone's swing technique just by creating almost like a mental barrier. They now are aware that there is something kind of in the way, and they'll do whatever they need to do to avoid it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to use my phone. I might use your phone.
No, you can, no chance.
So something like a head was perfect. It's soft. It's not going to get broken if you hit it. It's not going to damage your golf club. And if I was to just place that, just on the outside of my golf ball, it might take the viewers at home here a couple of minutes to set this up. That's possibly a little bit close. But what I can see here would be that if I deliver this golf club to a point where it would be a heel strike, I'm probably going to make a little bit of contact with that head club. So there's two things this does. If I do strike it at the heel, I'm going to get some awareness. The head cover's probably going to move.
Go down the driving range,
But probably more importantly, just the fact that there is something on the outside of my ball, I realise there's something there, I'm going to make what I call micro moves to hit the centre.
Yeah.
And the goal here would be that we start hitting the ball out the middle, and if we say to this golfer, what have you done? They don't really know.
Yeah.
They've not consciously changed their backswing or downswing. They've just used a kind of constraint drill that created an environment which is encouraging the right thing and discouraging the wrong thing.
Which is great, because if it's as simple as possible to move your strike and you're just using awareness and skill and some avoidance drills, that's going to keep it as simple as possible to really get that middle strike.
Yeah, and I think, sometimes you do get that customer who will kind of put the head cover down and hit the centre and go, well, surely I need a backswing thought or a downswing thought. And it's kind of like, well, let's go simple first. If we can fix it that way, brilliant. If we can't fix it this way, then we may need to look at other things in the golf swing. But in my experience, a bit of skill and a constraint drill, we can get pretty close.
That's great. Okay, so let's put these drills to the test. The viewers want to see one out the middle. Doesn't look too confident.
I was going to say, putting the pressure on here. So that head cover was certainly going to help me. So say my tendency is a little heel side. So this is a drill that I would happily do, and I actually do use in my practice. Wow.
Great drive.
That was pretty good. That felt pretty central.
Okay, so let's look at the HMT numbers here, and immediately the big difference. Look at his strike location, bang out of the centre of the club, and then look at his carry distance, over 320 yards carry, up from 264. What other numbers do you see?
Yeah, so the main ones there in terms of the distance would be the ball speed has increased a little bit. And that's obviously through that centred strike. That's where the manufacturers want you to hit the ball, so you're going to get better performance from there. And the big one is the spin rate there, just over 2,000. I think it was over 3,000 previously. So big difference. And, visually, a golfer would see that in the ball flight. They'd see one high in spinning, the other one at a very different ball flight. Yeah. So, the ball speed increasing and the spin coming down is what contributes to the increase in distance.
Well, you're definitely going to take that one onto the golf course.
That one I would take off the course, yeah. I'll give you a chance of getting on that green too.
Right, now you know about the strike location and the effects that it can have on your driver. We need your help. Head over to the YouTube channel, like, comment and subscribe. Make sure you don't miss out.